Hey guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast. I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2025, the album Dad AF Rock On Gorgeous Woman. How are you guys doing today? This is live. Well, you'll be watching it recorded, but this is live from Miami Beach. I am in our hotel room, and it is raining in Miami. We have been walking around and shopping and all that kind of stuff, and we got back, and I was like, I'm gonna make a video. I've been thinking about making this video earlier today, and I screenshotted some comments, and then I went in and I was reading comments. I was like, I'm gonna make this video today. So yesterday, or 2 days ago, Shane Dawson put on his Instagram live story this very, very long discussion. Well, it was just him talking about not being sure whether or not he wants to include the drama in the rest of the series. We have still episodes 7, 8, and 9 to come. And he kind of also alluded, well, if you want to know more about it, I included clips and I talked about it in my video yesterday. I will link that at the end, so go check that out. Also, I want to give a little shout out. I was coming up into my hotel room yesterday, and two very, very nice women stopped me. Brittany and Delia from New Jersey. Boost! How are you guys doing? They stopped me. They're like, oh my god, we watch all of your videos. And they were like, Jaclyn Hill. And then they like pulled a hair off their lip. I thought that was so funny. But anyway, so let's get into this conversation today, or whatever this is. You guys have the conversation in the comment section below. I really just want to know what you guys think about whether or not Shane should include the drama in the upcoming series, or the rest of the series. Should he just end the series? Does he owe it to us? Do we deserve it? You know, those kinds of words are being thrown around a lot, like he owes it to us, or he doesn't, you know, we don't deserve this, or whatever, you know. And I think that's very, very interesting when you talk about like any kind of creative endeavor, or a YouTube video, or a Netflix series, or whatever, you know, when we talk about it in those terms. And I think the problem is that this has become a very, very personal, I mean, it's not a problem, but I think this is why it's viewed differently, is that this is being seen as a very personal endeavor on Shane Dawson's part. So those of us that have watched him and are fans of Shane Dawson's and have been fans of his for years, this series feels very personal because it's really into the life of Shane Dawson as well. So anyway, okay, let's get into some of these comments that I received, and I'm just gonna read them. I screenshotted like 8 yesterday. I took like one thing off of Twitter that I saw, and then I'm gonna go into my video, or I'm gonna go into, yeah, from the video from yesterday, and I'm gonna read some of the comments that just like from the newest right now to going on, and I will just give you some of my commentary on it. And then I'd also like to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section below. So the first comment that I saw, and their comments they're kind of all over the place. So the first comment is, I love Shane to pieces, but it seems like every series he shoots, he starts second guessing himself and reworks the series. He allows too many opinions to change what he had intended at the start, which is sad. He did sell us on the drama, someone showing up to his house and calling the police, which is interesting because that was a part of the trailer, and I feel like he did that in another series. I feel like it was the Jake Paul series, and then we never saw what that was, like of somebody coming to their house. And if you remember in the trailer, Rylan came, you know, he was like, there's somebody outside, and we have no idea what that referenced or what that was a part of the series or anything. Which is sad. He did sell us on the drama, someone showing us up to his house and calling the police. It needs to be included, or a lot of people will feel clickbaited and used, because it will be just one giant advertisement without the rest of the promised stuff. Someone else said, I love Shane and I love the series, but the professionalism that was shown throughout the pilot process with Jeffrey and his team was outstanding and very impressive. Now, in contrast, Shane's part in putting out the rest of the content is looking like an unprofessional mess. I understand he's tired and wants to keep things in a positive note, but he needs to also get it together and deliver. And then somebody else said, hold on a second here. I'd love to see him do what you said, but then maybe, and what I said at the end yesterday was either shoot the rest of the series and do it the way that he wants to do it, but I also said that if he's tired of doing it, just do one more episode. Like, don't force 3 parts or 3 more episodes if they're not there. Maybe do, you know, like one last episode and call it the finale, you know, a year wrapped up, or Jeffree Star's last year or something, and then show the first 20 minutes being the launch day and everything that happened with that. And then the rest of the 40 minutes could literally be just all this coverage that he has that he and Andrew go through. He could do 5 minutes of Dramageddon, of them sitting around there, of the video. He could just do a voiceover, and all he would have to say is, it's just really sad that this happened. You know, he said this in his live stream. He said there's a lot of narcissism, a lot of pride, a lot of ego, and when that all hits at the same time with several different people, that's a result of what happened, or that the Dramageddon was a result of what happened. If he said that in a voiceover and he addressed it like literally in 2 minutes of a clip, I think people would be fine with that, you know, but it was in the trailer, and I think a lot of people are feeling like that's why I watched it. So anyway, I thought this was an interesting comment. And do something about drama in the beauty community later. He could, in the beauty community, he could interview different influencers and ask them how they have been affected, canceled, hurt, all sides. Jeffrey, James, Manny, Christy, etc. Then in the end, he could kind of come full circle and interview a few fans in each and how they love them despite the drama and just wanted to see them succeed. Make it about how none of the drama was necessary, how the beauty community would be a better place if everyone could move along. I thought that was really interesting. If he did like a 2-part episode, you know, like just 1 and 2, maybe from the beauty influencers part, maybe from the fans part, and maybe from Drama Channel's part, you know, of like a 3-part series or something like that, of, you know, whatever. Somebody else said, the only reason that I watch the Shane series is to see the drama, and when he announced that he wasn't going to do that, it kind of really made me upset. I mean, the videos were really cool and all, but I think that if you have it in the trailer, you should probably add it into your videos. Somebody else said, Peter, I love you, but sometimes when you hold your fan and get sassy, you slap it all over the place, and it is so insanely distracting. Beast! I know. When I watch my videos back, I'm like, okay, that's pretty distracting. Love you, but just wanted to give you the feedback. Keep the fan, maybe just put it down, thank you. And I have it down over here. I don't have a problem taking constructive criticism, so thank you for that. And that was from, I can't even see the name, because okay, that was from Sam H. So thank you, Sam. Somebody said, I love Shane and love the series, but the professionalism that was shown throughout the palette, okay, I already read that one. I really do believe that the drama needs to be put in the series. I fully understand he's in a good and happy place because of the palette and all, but the good feelings around it, but this was part of his last year while the palette was in making. He's put himself into this world, and that was a massive part of the beauty world, and we need to hear and see more of what and how they processed all of it, in my opinion. Now, let me just tell you, okay? In 3 years, over 3 years of doing drama and you know, the beauty influencer community, I've had a lot of beauty influencers reach out to me and say, you know, you guys don't really understand how much of what you do impacts our life or impacts our career, you know? And the fact that, yes, I thought, you know, he addressed a little bit of the drama and whatever, but we don't really see that. I think to have addressed some of that overall would have been interesting, and to see how, you know, it affects the reviews, how the reviews affect. I mean, there's not really been anything said about like other influencers coming out and doing reviews and all that kind of stuff. Now, he has shown a lot of that on Instagram and Twitter, which I think is fantastic, and he's shouting out some smaller influencers, which I think is great. Okay, so then okay, let's see the next one. Okay, one of the things I like about Peter's channel is that instead of just reporting on the drama, we always get Peter's perspective input as well. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's from AH. Having said that, I kind of feel this time, and I'm including this because I think this is a fair statement. Having said that, I kind of feel that this time you left Shane off too easily, Peter. Weren't you the one among many of us saying that there was no real closure to Dramageddon 2? And I don't feel like there was any closure to Dramageddon 2. For us, for the viewers, for the audience that watches these people on a regular basis, that became invested in Tati's video. James' video got 43 million views. Jeffrey put out a video. They all put videos out, and there was really no closure to all of that. You know, people still give Jaclyn Hill a hard time about her lipsticks that they didn't get the answers that they wanted, and yet we sit here and we didn't really get any answers about what happened, except for that their 3 of them are just not friends anymore. Okay, well, let's just move on. After years of you guys, you know, getting us invested in your life and your friendships. We watched your collabs together. We became invested. We started watching some people because we saw them in your videos, you know. A lot of people wouldn't have maybe watched James if they hadn't watched him in a Tati video, or vice versa, you know. So I think that, you know, like probably when James was on Jeffrey's channel and vice versa, they gained, like, you know, a lot of the audience. So now that you guys aren't friends anymore, and this is for anybody on YouTube or the beauty influencer world, when there's a huge falling out, I think it would be interesting. You know, even when you look at like Elijah Daniel and Christine, they even addressed their friendship or they're going apart in separate ways, and said, you know, she came out with a statement and said we've decided to go our separate ways professionally, and they at least addressed it, okay? And that's a comedy duo. So, okay. weren't you the one that, okay, weren't you speculating after seeing Shane's trailer that there will be a lot of drama involved? And I did, okay? And like I said yesterday in my video, a big part of why I have watched this series, all of it, is because I did think that the drama would be included. And I don't really care about it just drama for drama's sake. I care about it because I want to see how they address it behind the scenes, how it affects them on a human and personal level, you know? Like, the series, I feel like, is supposed to be this humanizing experience of what happens behind the scenes, and I really did want to see that and how they handle it, you know? And I agree, at this point, it's not even about the drama, it's this thing of principle. It was Shane's decision to put all the different storylines in the trailer. Nobody expected him to, so now he needs to follow through, otherwise it looks at least like false advertisement. And to finish the series out of respect to the audience who invested more than 6 hours watching, probably at least partly due to the trailer. So that was interesting. Somebody said, I love Shane, but this really isn't cool. I mean, at least finish what you started, whether it has to do with drama or not. Somebody said, I didn't want to see the drama because I'm dying to see people I didn't want to see the drama because I'm dying to see people get hurt or stuff or be rehashed. It happened and it's part of the beauty community, and the people involved at the time decided to put out regardless of anyone's feelings. I wanted to know what or if it had an effect on Shane and Jeffrey's process. I feel like it's a dishonest move not talking about it when we know it happened. Somebody said, if this ended up being a 6-part ad, then the marketing side of it was genius. Some may think it was shady, but from strictly a marketing standpoint, it smashed it. And then on Twitter, I saw that somebody said, I was talking about this last week and how I was disappointed that the preview specifically had Dramageddon clips, but none of that was shown, and that's the only reason I watched the series. You know, I do think it's interesting when we talk about this trailer, and, you know, everybody has really, you know, given Shane and Andrew accolades on the editing and the film and all that kind of stuff, which I think is well deserved. I think it is filmed beautifully. I think it was put together beautifully and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is, if this was a series, okay, on Netflix that had nothing to do with somebody that we felt personally about, that we didn't have a personal relationship with them because we had invested hours of watching their videos for years or whatever, it would be highly criticized if there was a trailer that put out. And imagine watching a Making of the Murderer trailer and you see, like, you know, Brendan Dassey get out of jail or some courtroom thing that really happens. It's a big deal. And we're like, okay, waiting to watch Brendan Dassey. If you haven't watched it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But we're all sitting there, you know, like, to see, I mean, it'd be like watching, you know, Lost, and in the trailer we see them all get off the island and then we never see that. And it's like, well, what? Like, the series would be, this is my new hat. I got this at the Gorin Brothers today. It says Jackass. I mean, it's on point, right? But anyway, I mean, that series would be criticized for it. So it's interesting to me from like a film point of view or a documentary series point of view that so many people are applauding the series, but at the same time, a lot of people are saying, we love the series, we love the series. You don't owe it to us to put the drama in there. You don't, well, I mean, if we're going to critique it from a series point of view or from a filmographer's point of view, yeah, I do think that's a fair criticism to say you put it in the trailer. I mean, whether or not you want to do it now is really not the point. Then maybe you should rethink how you put the trailer out in the future, you know? So I don't know. And I don't know, like, I feel like Shane is smarter than that. I think he really did want to address the drama, and now that the palette is out and everybody's kind of cool with everybody, I think he doesn't want to cause waves and whatever, but you know, to really make some change in the world and to really open people's eyes, I really feel like this series did open people's eyes. You know, I'm going to do a Q&A tomorrow. I'll go over to my Instagram, leave me some questions on my Q&A. It's over there, or on my Instagram story. But one of the questions I got like literally right away was, how do you feel like this series impacted the beauty world on YouTube? And I really do think it did. I think that influencers will feel more proud of what they do in the future and will feel like their value and their worth is more. I think Shane did that in the video with Jeffrey. I think in really understanding the numbers of what goes into it, I think in respecting the process, I think there's so much positive that came out of it. But at the same time, I feel like we need to talk about this, and maybe even from a drama channel's point of view, to be able to see how the drama does affect these people personally. Maybe if in the smallest way what it would do would maybe humanize them for us, and maybe all of us in there that get into the drama of it would make us look at it in a different way. You know what I mean? So I think to have it in there, I think is important. You know, I do think it is important, but I don't care. Like, I mean, at this point, I mean, I say all that, but like, if he doesn't put it in there, you know, in all honesty, like, I feel like this series has kind of gone on for a really, like, when I was watching Shane talk about how tired he was, I was like, it feels like this has been fed out and teased, and then the series started, and then the palette came out. Like, this has been going on for a really long time, you know? Okay, so then I want to get into the video and read a couple of comments that are directly off there from right now. Let me go to the newest comment. Somebody said, I want to see the drama between the beauty world. Somebody, okay, somebody said, I want to make sure I read this before because you never know. Okay, somebody said, Peter, part of me is seriously worried. Like, I do not want to think this, and most doesn't. But that 1% says, okay, Shane just made 20 million, and so he's just like, peace out, everyone, I'm done. When his live stream yesterday, he got very heated, and he said, this is not about the money for me. I don't care about the money. I never have cared about the money. And while I think that's true, I also think that's an easy statement to say when you just made a lot of money off this palette. I'm just saying, you know? And I speculated like 6 months ago, or whenever they came out with it, I said it would be really interesting to see if they donate a large amount of this money, if it really is just for the experience, which I'm not saying they have to do that. I'm not saying that Shane doesn't deserve the money, because I know everybody's like, he's worked so hard, he deserves the money. I'm not saying that. But I said it would be interesting to see if they, like, you know, if that was going to be part of what happened and stuff, you know? Somebody said, yes, we want the drama. I'm literally reading these straight down. I honestly think that the series should finish with the reveal. It was the perfect end. I also think he needs to make a new series about the beauty community, using the footage he has and inviting people onto his channel to speak all sides. It would be an amazing watch. Then somebody said, hold on a second. I support whichever way Shane decides to go with this. One thing I will say though is inconsistency of the upload schedule is extremely frustrating. Makes me not even want to watch, but I'm definitely a fan, a frustrated and apparently impatient one. So then somebody said, if he doesn't really want to include all the stuff he teased in the trailer, why doesn't he make a separate 1 or 2 part video? That's what I had said before. In this series with the launch and meet and greet, then release the drama, guru break, and stuff video or 2 with the message he wanted to include it in originally, because he said in the live stream that he wanted there to be a lesson from it, and that he really felt that there was a healing moment from all of it, and that the healing moment was, you know, to let each person, anyway, the live stream's up, you guys can go watch it. I think I included, that part is in my video from yesterday. As someone who watches YouTube, I have a little disappointment in the back of my throat, but I understand where he is coming from. He is happy, and the videos he's already posted have had positive feedback. The launch sold out, and the pre-sale, obviously drama wouldn't affect sales, but it would affect his happy, and no one should be upset about his protecting his happiness. Would I have liked to see the drama? Yes, of course, but it's old news and drama. May as well just leave it out. Just my thoughts. And this is where there's 2 different critiques. It's critique of Shane, the person. Of course we want him to be happy. We don't want him to be frustrated. And Shane, the filmographer, okay? The person that's putting these series together, that's completely different. Because then if you have no personal attachment to that, then it needs to be in there. And that's just from a critical point of view, you know? So, I don't know. Somebody said, okay, some people are putting stuff about James Charles. I mean, James Charles about his rap video, not about, it boils down, hold on a second, okay. It boils down to poor time management. Everyone's here. This person, I read this earlier, they go in and they talk about that they feel like he needs to hire a third party. Is this the one that says that? A third-party editor needs to be incorporated into the mix. At this point, it will keep him on track while still keeping him true to his vision. Somebody said, I knew I made the right choice of not watching the rest after the first episode. Don't need to watch a 5-hour advertisement for a palette I'm not going to buy anyway because I don't use makeup. Don't really care for Jeffree, but I love Shane, so I was going to give it a shot. Glad I didn't watch it. Dodged the bullet. Somebody said, Shane has his priorities straight, and I applaud him for it. For the direction he took. It was about what it takes to make a palette and merchandise and having Jeffree Star guide him through the network of the beauty industry. I've only been following Jeffree Star for like 2 years, and then I went back into him further. I found him to be fascinating, but I also get the sense he more likely got burned before he got to where he is now. Learn to never be burned again. I get that. So with that said, Jeffree Star was going to make damn sure it's not going to happen to Shane, mainly because Shane didn't know his money amount worth. Jeffree Star saw it, picked up on it, and showed him his worth, not just tell him, which I think is an important point. I don't necessarily care about the drama, although I think it would be interesting to hear their side and affect stuff. But I don't like when trailers in general include something that isn't in the final piece. It feels disingenuous. So overall, kind of the feeling that I'm getting from people is, I mean, some of you guys, these comments are so long and I would read them, but like, I mean, they're literally paragraphs. I'm kind of trying to skip it. To be honest, I wasn't expecting them to talk about the drama after I saw the second video in the series because it just seemed like it was based around the makeup at that point, and I was super content with that. I think bringing up the drama again now at this point would just be feeding into the negativity, and they just need to stay positive and happy. Shane just wants to do his thing and not bother with drama. It's sad that upsets people. Somebody said, should have just named the series, The Business World would give me money. Somebody goes in here about beauty influencers, really long one, something about a video about James Charles. Okay. You know, I think the takeaway from all of this, in all honesty, if I read it, is that at the end of the day, and I said this yesterday, that Shane should do what he wants. You know, like, I mean, Shane literally could get in the live stream and say, I love you guys, thank you for watching, I'm done with the series, it's over, okay? I'm glad the palette's out, I'm glad that you guys are happy with the palette, I'm done, I've moved on, I can't do this again. You know, and I think a lot of people would be, like, upset about it, but I think people would watch the next series, I think the people would still follow Shane. I think if he said, hey, you guys, like, I'm really tired and whatever, you know, like how it was the other day, because you could tell he was exhausted in that, you know? You could tell he was, like, really, like, it had been going through his head a lot, and there becomes a point, I think, when creativity becomes toxicity, and what I mean by that is that you're stressing yourself out of something that should be happy, it should be fun, and when you're worried about compromising that happiness or that creativity or that passion over how it's going to toxically affect somebody else or yourself or whatever, then you shouldn't do it. Like, at the end of the day, it is a creative venture that he's doing, right? I think the takeaway from all of this is, and I think he would own this, and he alluded to this in the live stream, had he never put it in a trailer, nobody would care. Like, if he had shown the trailer and it was just a trailer for The Beautiful World of Jeffree Star, and it showed about the palette and then flying around and doing the meet and greet or whatever that was, the Mall of America, you know, the opening of the store and all that kind of stuff, I don't think anybody would expect the drama. I think the drama channels would speculate, is he going to put it in there because it happened in the last year? But people wouldn't be holding, you know, people wouldn't be holding him to the fact that he needs to include it had he not put that in there originally. So I don't know. I think the takeaway from this is, in the future, as a critical over here filmographer is, don't put your trailer out until you know how you're going to do all 9 series, you know? And I think maybe in the future, like, organically structure it and be like, okay, this is what I want my series to look like. That being said, we wouldn't have gotten the series that we got had he not, I said organically, I meant to say more structured, but he filmed it organically. We wouldn't have gotten the same series we got had he done that. But I think waiting to put the trailer out until you really feel good in your heart about it, you know, and asking yourself, okay, what do I feel? Like, let me watch it back. Am I willing to address everything that's in this in the future, you know? So this isn't the first time he's done this, you guys. I mean, this, like, in the Jake Paul series, he didn't address everything that was in the trailer either. I talked about that. I did videos about it, you know? It's very similar. He's done this in several videos now, and I think that what happens is that he puts out the trailer and he gets really excited about the direction that he wants this whole series to go. And then what happens is he's living it, okay? So when you're talking about a person that's doing a documentary, they're very objective. They're on the outside. They're not in it. But in a lot of these series, he's recreated the whole idea of the documentary. And I said that I thought that was a genius idea, but because it's also, you're in the documentary, so you're part of it. But part of the problem with that too is that your perspective is going to change over time. There was no way that Shane Dawson could do a year of being in the world of Jeffree Star, and his perspective about the beauty beauty community wasn't going to change. He could have lived with him for a week, or he could have just done a week with him and his perspective would have changed. So over a year, where the video started and where it ended, we're going to be 2 completely different things, you know? And so I totally understand that, and I respect that he wants to do it that way. I just think that it wouldn't be getting the criticism he's getting now had he not put the trailer out like that. So that's just what I think about it. But, you know, at this point, I'm kind of like, hey, let's move on to the next thing. I don't really care. I mean, I'm interested to see the last 3 parts if he puts it out. But I don't really care if the drama's in there or not. But I do think it needs to be addressed. I do, like, because and I'm saying this, I'm speaking this for the people that have an issue with it. I think if you tease it out in the trailer, whether you say you don't want to do it or not, I think it does need to be in there to some degree, you know? Even if it's just 2 minutes of it, and say, you know what, I don't want to address this because it brings me a lot of sadness, it makes me sad about this, and I really don't want to include it in there. It wasn't the happiest part of the last year from what I saw. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.